What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Bitcoin and cryptocurrency update video. If you guys remember last time we got together here, Bitcoin was hanging out in this region over here, and we had the initial impression that we were just finishing our wave 1 into wave 2 into potential liftoff, and clearly that never happened because we lost our uptrend. We had, our touch here, and then I think I had it over here. Yeah, looks about right because you can see it was initially some support there, and then boom, we broke it and back tested right there as resistance again. It looks a little different on the BLX when you go to log. It actually comes up a little higher here. See, we got the touches here, here, and here. So now we're on our downtrend, right? We connect the two highs there, connect them here. It looks a little bit more different on this one when I go off the log. So not a big deal. It's I watch them both. Whatever one looks better, you could decide for yourself. But yeah, I mean, we have a clear downtrend in play here with two touch points up here, and then the most recent one being right here. So this is the conservative line for your entry if you're looking for Bitcoin to, rally higher. And if it were to break above this downtrend here, where we might potentially go, well, I have the resistance up here at 58,000 because I think it's pretty clear and clean, especially on, let's go to the weekly time frame here. Got a lot of weekly closes over here. I acted as some support, lost it, and then boom, resistance. But I think most importantly, it's the golden ratio though. If we just go ahead and measure the top to the bottom here, right there, you can see it's pretty much that 61.8. So if Bitcoin can rally to here and achieve above there, we're really good to go. But clearly under some pressure right now because we've already experienced from top to bottom 43%. So that's no slouch for sure. It does take some time to recover from there. Um, you know, as far as like the immediate short term, you can see that we had a nice little bottom here though, and we just kind of came into some resistance here. Get by that trend line again, that flipped support resistance flip here. So yeah, I guess what we're looking at right now is that we're probably looking to come play with the lows again right here around this support range cluster, and we're maybe testing the absolute lows of it. Well, we shall see though. But nonetheless, we're getting close to a nice pinch here. We're either going to lose the support here or break the resistance here. I mean, base case is more probable that we do break this because it does look, let me clean this up a little bit, it does look more like a falling wedge, however you want to draw it, something like that. So you can see that, it's tightening up here and it's bound to break either down or up from here. So, 63 or 64% of the time, this is the bullish pattern. It should break to the upside. And if it does, the technical target should be the top of the wedge. However, like I said, we do have some immediate resistance over here by 58,000 or so, let alone the previous swing high here at 53K. If you just come all the way over here too. So we need to take out those highs as well. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to play out. If it does, that's pretty probable. If not, the bearish case would be, well, of course, that we just lose support right here, in which case then we have back down to support over here by 30K. I feel like in the immediate short term, we've already had significant sell pressure coming down here, and it's tightening up a lot. So I feel like even if we were to come visit these lower levels, I feel like we would still get a nice reaction rally to the upside before then coming back down to the lows. Because, first of all, we're already on the month here. Zooming in. This is our third red month, and we don't really get those that often. I mean, you can just backtrack in history how often we get 3 red months in a bull market, let alone in a bear market. They're not even as common, I guess, besides all these over here. That's one excuse, but that was also in a bear market, right? So present day might look something like how we did over here, with 3 red months, the big one being in the middle, and then finishing on the smaller side. You got a wick here. This month, I mean, we're halfway through this month here, so we got a lot of time to see where this candle closes. But I imagine it's going to be something smaller because it does look like we've just turned our 40K resistance into support at this point. And support is going to act as support until it's not. So taking a look at some indicators though to help us see where we're at. You can see the RSI had a clear downtrend. We had a touch point here, a little fake out right here, and then boom, we ended up rolling over to go to the oversold conditions again. And it looks like we're trying to fight back up to the upside again. Let's see if I move this over now to the recent touch. So we're still not out of the woods yet. We really need to see the RSI above 44, that recent swing high rejection, to really get going and break out of this downtrend. Let alone in general, above 57 would be much better. Like if we go to the weekly time frame here, when we're above 57, price is generally trending upwards, and when we're below 57, we're generally in a downtrend. So under 57 right now, actually testing the recent swing low, of the market structure over here by 42. You can see if you look, look left on the chart here, it's acted as a lot of support and resistance in the past. So interesting level to watch. If we lose this and roll over, then the bulls got a lot of proving to do, and Bitcoin will definitely be under some pressure. However, also doesn't like to stay super oversold that long, even when it does reach those super low levels like that. You see what I mean? So um, let's see. Let's go back to this though. Then you got the weekly RSI right here. It's still waiting for a confirmation cross. We got the blue line below the orange. We want the blue above the orange and above this 20 level to confirm that it went through. That would really throw some momentum into the market for Bitcoin to start moving higher. If we go to the daily, we already have a cross up and we're looking to go back up to the stronger momentum here. And I mean, yeah, just in general, the RSI being oversold, trying to bounce from these lower regions, it usually doesn't stay oversold that long if you just backtrack it, right? So yeah, I mean, if the key takeaways from the video is that Bitcoin's clearly been under some pressure recently, and we're just starting to see some potential recoveries here. Let me get off the log there. We're just starting to see some potential recoveries here. But yeah, definitely some proving to do. So the levels to watch is going to be this immediate resistance right here at 45,409. A break above this in the really short term would be really nice to see. But you know, if that takes a little longer, this downtrend is coming in sooner. So like if we roll over down here and then go more sideways, then it's really just this line I'm watching because this will be the first indication. This would be a little bit stronger for sure. And then we got some more work to do once we hit 53 over there. And then once we pop above 53, this is the danger zone we got to watch. So what we want to see happen from here, if it's going to make that lower high or not, you know, let's say price does come back up to here and, you know, zigzags up to here and whatever the uptrend looks like, maybe it's something like this, maybe it's not. I'm just, you know, thinking in real time with you guys here. As long as this uptrend holds and we break through that resistance, we're good to go and potentially into liftoff, or we'll talk about the other options from there, but we'll be good to go. If this really does roll over though, we get rejected here, right? And then we break this support here, then the real play is going to be this right here. This would be that short that would really send it to lower levels for sure. Um, but nonetheless, I mean, okay, so if we do break that high, then a couple options. You know, a lot of people like to call the 4-year cycle dead, and you know they want to throw it out the window. But realistically, it could still happen. I mean, they all look different, right? We've been through this before. We talked about this being the mid-cycle shakeout, right? And let me zoom in to make it a little bit easier for you. You know, so this would have been wave one. Oh, sorry, wave one. This would have been wave two, and now that was liftoff. It looks better on the daily, but just we're going through it real quick. And then this was again that mid-cycle shakeout. You know, we had wave one, wave two, and then boom, it went to liftoff. So they all look different, but you know, and mostly it's different, especially this time because, well, first of all, this was a rounding top. It wasn't like a big blow off top like we've seen in the past, like this one and all this stuff, right? But we've also never taken out the high of wave one, and we did do that in this one, but we're still chilling right here above this critical support right now. So what I am saying though is that if we do come back up to this region here above 60k or around 60k, you know, let alone that all-time high region, we got to just take it day by day and see what price is doing. Um, Realistically, it's still possible to have it. I wouldn't call it my base case anymore. I would say it's more like 50-50 shot. But if price starts getting hot and heavy, right, and starts moving up like this, like a V-shaped recovery, and we're going something like this, like it could really start to move from here, to be honest with you. Especially taking out that high. It would be pretty nuts. When Bitcoin's in price discovery mode, it really starts to go crazy. But at the same time, maybe we're just looking at a change in market structure, kind of like we've already seen both in this bull market, big pump up here, and also on this downside. Um, so what could happen as well is maybe we just stay somewhere like this. Let me see how we had it drawn in before. Da, 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 da. Bear with me. Clean this up a little bit for you guys. Didn't mean to delete that one, but not a big deal. I could drop back. So if we put it in a parallel channel here, I love symmetry like this. So here we go. Let's connect that 14 high to the low right here. And you'll see that this stays true even up here at the touch points at the top. So I like this symmetry. So it is a very broad channel, but that's totally okay. You know, Bitcoin could even just be chilling in something like this. Boom, you know. If that's what's to happen, it's not a big deal. Or even if you more macro zoom out and you connect the entire thing, let's go to log. Connecting the entire thing, it could even still be something like this. Somewhere like that, somewhere like that. It's not perfect. I could try to fix it a little better for you. Oh, I forgot it doesn't like when you do that, but you know, something like that. That's the general trend. I mean, we're still talking about a channel that's been in place since 2013, right? So when in doubt, zoom out. Bitcoin has been performing like crazy right now, and it's only normal for it to like cool off and stop over here. I mean, it really got ahead of itself over here from October through April over here in 2021, right? In 2020 and 2021, really here. So it was a 6x, so that happened really, really fast. And so it's only normal to have this kind of consolidating price action here. But it won't be here forever, like we made really clear. Price will leave this big circle here, whether it's to the downside, coming to the lower channel of support over here, which comes in around 20k to 14k region, something like that, or it's going to break it to the upside, in which case this price will get pretty exciting pretty quick. I mean, you can see the upward channel, it's 200k, 300k, blah blah, stuff like that. And if you're not a fan of the logarithmic chart like this, maybe you're a fan of the diminishing returns aspect, and you like the logarithmic regression instead. So in which case then we're just chilling in between this range right here. These are all fib levels, by the way. We're just chilling in between these two. So same thing. I mean, we're either going to break the support here and come test these lower levels, or we're going to break the resistance up here and come test this midline, which is pretty critical because when Bitcoin gets above this midline, in the past, it's moved very fast, very, very fast. In the present, this was the first round of top we've had. So what I mean, maybe we just continue to hump like this, you know? Like it really depends on what it's going to do. Whether it stays in this channel and keeps getting really tight over here later, which I honestly don't think is going to happen. I'm more of a fan of the previous one I had out here with the, you know, the logarithmic non-regression, just straight up. Um, there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, I just view Bitcoin as an adoption of technology, and you know, as far as money coming into the market, you know, it's still in its very infancy. It's like 5% of the world basically using this stuff, you know. So when we hit like a billion users, as opposed to like the under 200 million users we're at today, I mean, eventually it's going to hit its peak target market potential, like growing area, and usually that's defined beforehand as far as like what the market structure looks like heading into that. I say that because, like, I mean, if you just take a look at Amazon, for example, oh, why am I comparing Amazon to Bitcoin? Well, I'm just comparing Amazon as like a technology, or sorry, you know, like an internet company back in the day, hopping on this new technology wave, right? So you have the initial crazy euphoric phase of Amazon, right, blowing up, crashing, blah blah blah. Then you have this like facing reality stage over here, and then you have like this, you know, boom, up and to the right. What if Bitcoin just does something like that, right? Like we don't really have crazy 4-year cycles anymore with big pumps, big dumps, but we just have these more mini bulls, mini bears headed up kind of continuously like this as people realize it's a game of accumulation. As Bitcoin matures and grows with a larger market cap, it's not always going to be these crazy moves, right? Or let's go to the BLX. It's got all the cycles in here. Plus, the next halving still comes in, you know, sometime in summer of 2023, right? So I really don't think that's priced in, because yeah, I mean, 50% supply reduction is no joke, let alone the adoption in the space is no joke. It's growing really, really fast. I don't really see it slowing down. And even if you do see it slowing down, by what percent are we talking? Because at the moment we're still talking about 165% year-over-year gains since some time over around here, if you measure it like that. Because I don't really accommodate for the this cycle here, because this was pre-halving, right? Pre-halving before the first one, and it's also since inception where you get like crazy, crazy unrealistic growth that just doesn't happen again, right? This matured a little bit better, this one matured a little better, and now this one's doing a little more maturing as well. So we'll see what happens in real time. But like I said, right now it's not really a time to be selling your Bitcoin. This is a time to accumulate. It's consolidating clearly, just going sideways. So it will start to get volatile for sure. It's actually really low historical volatility right now. I think I have that indicator. Let me see. Do I? Historical volatility. Yes, look at this. Let's go to, I think it's on the weekly. Yes. Yeah, let's see. Let's clean this up a little bit. It looks a little interesting. What was the level to watch? Let me look at it for a second. Da, 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 da. If I had to say, I don't know. I'm liking somewhere around 40. You can see anytime it dips below 40, a big volatile move comes. Yeah, look at that. I didn't even look at the price, and we already see that. But anytime the volatility touches below 40, it really starts to do something crazy. And right now we're at really low volatility. We should see a nice pump out of here for sure. For some big move coming for sure. And like I said, we'll know when going back to the daily time frame. I don't really need this up anymore. We got the early warning sign right now of the momentum coming back in. We need RSI to break this this downtrend here. would be another confirmation. So taking out that swing high right around here, nice high, boom. And then outside of that, just price confirming above the downtrend that we have here right now, slash this resistance right here around 45,000. And that's how we know the bullish scenario is taking place. And we got our danger zone up here, so we'll update when price reaches around this zone. And or if price breaks this, then we got our support down here at 30K. So that's the summary of today's video. Otherwise, besides altcoins in general, if you look at the Bitcoin, the dominance chart here, you know, we're right at the lows again at 40. So we're currently testing critical support. If we lose this region, we've talked about it before, but we're looking at a nice percent of market share headed to the altcoins, about another 5%, which would be pretty massive, let alone if we break that low, which is pretty probable at some point in Bitcoin's future, that we had a low lower and the altcoins really start to have a euphoric rise. But if we find some support here, then we're going to come back and test this resistance again that we've had a couple of touch points on. I also think that, you know, since we are testing these lows again, that if we do come and test the resistance up here, that if that resistance is then broken and we come back to play with 50% again, because realistically it's just that flat resistance up there, roughly, this is just a zone. But I believe that we come play with 57, upwards of 63% market share at some point, whether that's bottoming off these lows and heading up there, or first bleeding to whatever it drops to, and then, you know, in the bear market, or whatever you want to call it, taking money back from the altcoins. In the macro, I expect this to continue downward, but I do expect some short-term relief at some point. So I know you guys like the altcoins, so I'll go ahead and hop into that too, even though I'm more focused on the Bitcoin at the moment. Let's go to the daily. But yeah, you can see Ethereum's under some pressure right now as well. Touched down to 3K support. Which, by the way, I should have said this earlier in the video, but you know, if you guys want these real-time callouts, since I'm not super consistent with the YouTube videos all the time at least, and I can't really make them intraday like every single day, I do post this stuff on like Instagram and Snapchat stories whenever I see something coming up. So if you want those quick updates and what's going on day-to-day stuff, go on the social medias. You can follow them all in the description below. If you like the more macro outlets, if you like the more macro outlooks because you're an investor like myself and you're not here to day trade, then these videos are going to be just fine, because you remember the video we talked about a couple months ago. Everything we really said in that video kind of still planned in advance for something like this. Maybe not as low, but still in play, you know, and we could, you know, talk about what the warning signs were in real time if you want to know about that in a moment. But let me just go on my roll here with Ethereum, right? So Ethereum has been really in this downtrend right now, and we just lost it actually, and now it's actually back testing as resistance, so that's a pretty noteworthy moment at the moment. Otherwise, I mean, we can come as high as the resistance over here with the swing high, that swing high. I just connected them and it was support, and then now connect as resistance again. Or just more importantly, horizontal support and resistance is more significant, so $4,000 is pretty key, and so we should really be chilling between 3 and 4,000 for a little while. Yeah, I mean, if we can get back above here, 3,600 bucks, and confirm that as support, then we'd be battling 4,000 plus again, because this is the most important trend line right now for Ethereum that needs to break to the upside. But yeah, otherwise, let's look at XRP real quick. Log. It's still in this big channel. Let me go to the weekly. It's still in this channel above, and I even drew this midline one in here as some sort of guide for where it could be. So it's also kind of coiling up here, you can see. So we're going to reach a pinch here, and it's either going to roll over and test the bottom of the support here again, or she's going to pop off and, you know, do her thing and go to the moon. Again, we're more utility focused on this one. I'm not here to really day trade this or anything like that, but it's still cool to know where we're at roughly and what could happen and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to go back to Bitcoin real quick just to elaborate on how you would have seen this coming if you were curious. So the first warning sign would have been if we go to the log chart, and remember we had our uptrend in play here, right there. So the BLX on log, or not necessarily the BLX, but just Bitcoin on a logarithmic chart, had it coming in a little cleaner and a little earlier. So the exit would have been right over here, around 55,000 or so. That's when we lost that clear support. But nonetheless, it's still pretty similar to how it looked on a not logarithmic chart. If you go like this, let me fix that, sorry, boom. Go like that, that's what it would have looked like on here. So this exit would have came in, obviously a little later, 52,000, so that's why it would have been better to look at log on that case. But in general, I mean, things were pretty clearly wrong when we took out that swing high right there, because like we were saying, the other bull markets did not take out the previous swing high from wave one, and this one did. So now we're back into, you know, unclear territory as of the past 41 days here. And the clarity comes back, just to clarify, when we break this downtrend. And if we lose the support, then we're going to have to keep watching what's happening again. But we'd most likely trade in between these regions for a while. So nonetheless, the least expectation we have is that there's some sort of consolidation still happening. The first warning sign of a repair is because we have a big low right here, and it's been under some pressure for literally 3 months right now. So we should see some sort of a relief rally even if we do continue lower. But this relief rally doesn't even have to be a relief rally. It could just be a continuation to much higher because market structure is still sitting pretty nice. I don't think we're in a bear market just yet. I think one can totally happen, but this this kind of like pullback that people are looking for, like significant lower levels, like 20K or less Bitcoin, like that would have happened if we didn't have this weird rounding top or double top, so to speak. Like we've already had such sideways action that I don't feel we need as much sell pressure to continue that much lower. Um, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just how it goes. I mean, if it goes straight up, then you have significant drawdowns with lots of time to take that up, right? This one went straight up, but this is plenty of time to recover that kind of a move. I mean, this was 6 months up, and we've been here for a lot more than 6 months. If we just count our first red month to now, 275 days, it's almost a year. So this long sideways motion has definitely made up for a lot of this uptrend here. Depends when you want to count it. I guess if you want to count it from COVID, then sure, that's about half that time or 3/4 of that time. So it's fine. I mean, we got a lot to happen still and a lot to develop here. How's the monthly RSI look? Okay, so even this one too, we got to wait for a cross up. It's clearly on the lower sides of it though. But what? I mean, anytime the RSI on monthly is pretty low, it looks like it was a pretty good time to buy, right? If you start buying here, any of these times. So what's the difference over here? What the hell is the RSI on this thing? Why is it invisible? It's so weird right now. What the heck? Trading views lagging. Hello, it's back. Month. What is happening, dude? That's so weird. Damn, I've been recording for 22 minutes already. That's what happens when I just keep talking. I don't really plan these out. I just kind of go through them live with you because that's my homework. I just like to show you how I do it and what I'm looking at and why it's important. Um, yeah, I mean, fundamentally, nothing's really changed. If anything, it gets stronger every day. That goes for Bitcoin, that goes for Ethereum, that goes for XRP, and any other token that you would care to hold. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I feel like we're in different stage at the moment. We're either heading into the lengthening cycles, which are pretty probable at this point. It looks like they're all lengthened. I think every time frame suggests that we are, whether you measure from the bottom to the top or the halving to the top or whatever you want to call it, even the breaking of the new all-time high to where we're at. So, yeah, this cycle is definitely taking longer than the other ones. It doesn't necessarily have to be diminishing returns just yet. I think it's too early to say. We won't know until we know, kind of thing. Because that kind of goes to the saying of like, okay, well, if we break these highs here, 58K to that all-time high, like 69,000 or so, we really have to take it day by day and see what price looks like from there. If it really starts to get ahead of itself and start growing like crazy, then yeah, euphoric blow off top, say 300K or so would certainly call for like an 85 to whatever percent drawdown and definitely take a couple years to recover. But if we don't reach those crazy prices in a short period of time, like maybe we only hit 100 and 100 to 150K in this next period. Like, are we still gonna have 85% pullback from there? Like, probably not. More like probably like the 50 to 60% ones or whatever you want to call it that would come up, because they go hand in hand. I mean, the higher you go, the faster you go, then the longer it takes to recover and stuff like that. But yeah, at this point, I'm kind of rambling. Uh, I just like to chart the way I chart. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments below. I don't really get a lot of feedback on these videos yet, which also kind of makes sense. I get it. Not a lot of people are interested in TA or don't understand what I'm saying, so I'm trying to make sense of it for everybody else. But yeah, that's what I got. As far as real life stuff goes, real quick, the Z still parked in the garage at the moment. I'm still driving the Acura. Actually recently got in a little rear-ended accident in the Acura, so I'm getting that taken care of. Need a little new bumper work and stuff, so no big deal. I'm fine. The other guy is having some issues driving, so whatever. Everyone's okay. But yeah, I guess that's the only interesting things I got for you. I just got back from Florida. Nice, much-needed vacation from working all the time. I'm still gonna get a webcam for this at some point, so bear with me, but I'll update the quality of these videos as far as showing you what I look like while making these videos. I need some sound deadening stuff in here. I think that would help a little bit better. And then yeah, I mean, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I appreciate everybody for watching. Have a prosperous day.